35.
Oh,
and
DJ
finally,
Simpson with the tackle.
He's taken out by Simpson. This ball game's over. Pinecrest has won the ball game.
Okay, folks, Aaron Regan again here with another installation of the Coach's Carousel, and we saved the best for last. Head coach Chris Metzger of your Pinecrest Patriots here at the Southeastern Conference for a media day, talking about football, life in general, and I know you're chomping at the bit to get ready and put the pads on here in the next week, all right?
Without a doubt, the kids have had a great summer, the best summer we've ever had, best leadership, attendance, and we're just ready for a great year.
Now, before we get into football, you went to Canton, Ohio a few days ago. Tell our listeners about the experience of going to almost like a holy mecca of football.
Unbelievable opportunity. Was blessed to coach with USA Football in Austin, Texas this summer. While there, USA Football basically nominated me for an NFL leadership symposium in Canton, Ohio.
Okay.
Representing the state of North Carolina. Got to lead breakout sessions talking about leadership in our program. Got to hear some unbelievable speakers. Got to be around guys. What a great learning experience. Not only being in the hall, but being around one coach from every state. It was just a great opportunity.
Did you ever think you'd get paid to do this in life? Go to Canton, Ohio to coach football?
Well, anybody that's heard me speak publicly, I have a plaque my daughter gave me that says, if you love what you're doing, you haven't worked a day in your life. And I truly believe that, if you love what you're doing, you're not working.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's get started real quick. We'll take a look back, then we go forward. 5-7 last year in 2011, including a very tough loss to an out-of-state team from Florida, who was a very good football team. Toughest schedule in the state in 2011, and of course the schedule is flipped, so it's the same schedule, so it doesn't get any easier. I believe the Simmons ratings has you ranked #1 again. Yes. Toughest schedule. Let's go back to last year. One thing that struck me about the 2011 team is it seemed to be a season of two different sides of the coin. The first half of the year, the offense and the offensive line was mowing people down. You were able to hang up points. Defense couldn't get off the field in the first half. Then the second half of the season came around, and a young defense grew up real quick and almost became the fingerprint of your football team. Can you talk about the transition?
Well, I think the Southeastern Conference is known for its defense, not that they're not great in offense. And I think when we got into the conference that second half of the season, you're talking about some stout defenses. Not that they weren't stout offenses, but you're looking at, Lumberton had a young offense, a stout defense. Scotland had a stout everything. Purnell Sweat had a very, very, very stout defense, very young offense.
They did.
Richmond County starting a sophomore quarterback, returning 9 out of 11 starters on an offense. On it, so they were very young. And then obviously Hope County, same situation. So I think it was one of those years to where everybody had young offenses and really stout defenses. Not that won't be the case this year. They'll still reload, but I think our kids did a great job. They got better each week.
They really did.
And did what it takes, because it's 3 phases: special teams, defense, offense.
And a lot of people say, a win's a win, a loss a loss. There's no such good thing as a good loss. But the last game of the season last year, you went up to Greensboro and you played the eventual 4AA state champion to a 7-0 game halfway through the third quarter in a mudslide. What can you take from that, you guys?
Well, I think the guys battled hard. I mean, they scored at the end of the third quarter. We drove down and, had an unfortunate situation. Ended up getting beat 21-0. They went on to win the state championship, I think, like 35. So we're talking about a great team. But, our kids have we haven't taken our first year of the thing was rip off their rearview mirror. But obviously we've learned from last year. But the total focus is this year. It's on us. We know we play the tough schedule in the state. We know we play great teams. But we just want to focus on our house. We'll do what we have to do, no matter who's in front of us, if we're blocking, if we're tackling, if we're getting off blocks, if we're pursuing, if we're doing the things, the things in the community, the things in school, then everything will, be a byproduct of success.
It'll take care of
which it's all about being successful in life.
All right. We know the Southeastern Conference 4A every year is a brutal trek up and down. Let's talk about the out-of-conference schedule. Again, we talked about some of the teams from last year. You got New Hanover from Wilmington, Ronald Reagan High School, new school out of Winston-Salem's coming down here to Pinecrest land. Talk a little bit about some of the teams that people in our area may not have their arms around as far as knowledge about.
Jack Britt returns 18 of 22 starters from a team that got beat in the state semifinals.
And this is your opening week.
His opening week.
Right.
Week 2, you've got Overhills, who returns 19 of 22 starters on a team that won 5 games, and it was a down year. Then you go to week 3, you're going to Cox Mill, who went 9-3.
Right.
Then you go to Ronald Reagan, who won 6 games for the first time in their history and went to the playoffs. Then you've got New Hanover, who got beat in the state quarterfinals. Then you've got Western Hornet, who returns the majority of their team. New coach, great. He was new last year. He's been there. Got a couple veteran head coaches that retired and came to work with him. So, there's no weeks off. There's not a week where you know, there's not a week where you don't have to bring your A game.
Right. And do you have a bye week this year?
No, sir.
No bye week again. Last year was one of the first years I'd seen the team not have a bye week.
That's right.
What do you find advantageous parts of that?
Yes, we do. I mean, we have great depth. We have a lot of kids, and you know, we're not going to practice as if, oh, we can't get somebody hurt. We're going to practice and work to get better each week.
Now each team's different, and each year is different. What does the 2012 team, what did they have to do specifically, crossing the T's and dotting the I's, to be victorious on Friday night?
No big plays on defense, protect the football. If those two things happen, it could be a big year for the Patriots.
Absolutely.
Tough schedule, all those things, but just win this turnover battle. We got to win the turnover battle. That's the single most. You win the turnover battle, and great things happen.
Absolutely, and we know you like to be a team guy, and you like to talk about the team in general terms as a group. But if you could just elaborate to perhaps a couple of guys, maybe in the off-season workouts and leading up here to the beginning of the season, what really stood out and really caught your eye, and maybe our listeners will be on the.
Dwayne Simpson has taken over the quarterback job. We had
and he played a little running back last year.
Played running back last year, but he has established himself as the leader of the offense, both from a you know, not only his example, but he's a vocal leader. He's, you know, a workout warrior.
Right.
The
and his older brother was with you last year.
Yeah,
who
at Fayetteville State.
Could not get enough physical contact and leadership. So I'm sure the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Defensively, you're talking about 8 kids on a defense with over 3.5 GPA. So we're calling them that AP defense, advanced placement defense.
The AP defense.
So we're feeling really good about that. And, you know, obviously you've got Frankie Painter at punter, who's going to be outstanding. Jackson Maples at kicker. The Maples name's pretty good when it comes to kicking.
And the kicking game is huge.
Yes, and so we're feeling like, you know, the pieces are in place. You just have to go out and produce. You got to execute. You got to do the little things.
Fantastic. Well, there you go, folks. Pinecrest Patriots in 2012. Looking forward to a great season, tough schedule, some new faces, and we wish you all the best, Coach. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
God bless.